After days on the sidelines, fighting through injury and silence, Caitlin Clark makes her highly anticipated return to the court tonight. And it's not just any game, it's a battle against the rising force of the league, the Golden State Valkyries. The energy is electric, the stakes are high, and the spotlight, it's once again locked on Caitlin, the player who redefined range, who brought crowds to their feet night after night. She's lacing up with something to prove. Will she pick up right where she left off? Or will the Valkyries test her comeback in ways we haven't seen before? The opening quarter was nothing short of electric as the Golden State Valkyries took possession and made an immediate statement. Jordan Burton wasted no time, pulling up from mid-range and sinking the first jumper of the game with confidence. But the Indiana Fever had an answer, and her name was Kelsey Mitchell. She slashed through the lane with a lightning-quick first step, finishing a driving layup through contact. With the whistle blowing, she stepped to the line and calmly knocked down the free throw, putting Indiana on the board in style. Tiffany Hayes answered right back for the Valkyries with a powerful driving layup, showing her trademark aggression in the paint. But Indiana stayed composed. Ari McDonald found space and nailed a smooth jump shot, swinging the momentum back toward the Fever. And then came the roar the entire arena had been waiting for. Caitlin Clark, returning from injury, took her first shot and buried it. A perfect mid-range jumper that sent the crowd into a frenzy. But the Valkyries weren't fazed. Temi Fagbenle responded with a strong layup inside, muscling through the defense. Still, Caitlin Clark had more in the tank, this time stepping beyond the arc, pulling up from deep and draining a three-point jump shot. Burton answered once more for Golden State with a crisp mid-range jumper, keeping things tight, but Indiana's offense kept humming. Natasha Howard cut through the defense and finished with a graceful finger roll layup, but Monique Billings wasn't done yet. She struck from deep, nailing a three-point jump shot for Golden State to close the gap. But the final say in the quarter belonged to Sophie Cunningham, who found her rhythm and knocked down a three-point jumper for the Indiana Fever, pushing the energy in the building even higher. As the clock wound down to end the first quarter, it was a hard-fought, back-and-forth battle, but the Indiana Fever held a narrow lead, up 23-21 over the Golden State Valkyries. The second quarter tipped off with the tension still sky-high. Natasha Howard got things started for the Indiana Fever by drawing a foul early in the quarter. Stepping up to the line, she kept her composure and knocked down the free throw, giving Indiana the first point of the second period. But the Golden State Valkyries came right back. Letitia Amahir showed off her explosiveness, slicing through Indiana's defense with a driving layup that cut straight to the rim. No hesitation. Just pure aggression. The response came from downtown. Lexi Hull found herself open beyond the arc, set her feet, and launched a three-point jump shot. Bang! The Fever's bench rose in unison as the ball ripped through the net. But Burton, already heating up in the first quarter, wasn't about to let Indiana build momentum. She answered with a three-point jumper of her own for the Valkyries, keeping the scoreboard neck and neck. And just like that, Li Wei Chen joined the shooting party. The Valkyries moved the ball beautifully around the perimeter, and Chen found her rhythm, letting it fly from deep and nailing the triple. Golden State was heating up from beyond the arc. The Fever tried to reset, but Ileana Rupert-Salayun kept the Valkyries' offense rolling. She took the ball off a smooth cut, floated into the lane, and delivered a driving, floating jump shot that dropped in with touch. A beautiful finish that showcased her control in the paint. Moments later, the Valkyries struck again. Kayla Thornton drew a foul on a hard drive to the basket. With the crowd growing tense, she calmly stepped to the line and sank the free throw, giving the Valkyries a strong push midway through the second quarter. Golden State had flipped the script. Indiana Fever held a narrow lead, up 32-41 over the Golden State Valkyries. The third quarter opened with the game still hanging in the balance, and it didn't take long for the action to explode again. Maya Martin stepped up for the Golden State Valkyries and wasted no time. She pulled up from deep and buried a three-point jump shot, setting the tone for the second half with a confident stroke from beyond the arc. But Kelsey Mitchell, Indiana's spark plug all night, came storming back. She created space on the perimeter and fired with no hesitation, a pull-up three-pointer right over the defense. Splash! Mitchell was locked in. The Valkyries responded down low. Temi Fagbenle took it strong to the baseline and finished with a smooth reverse layup, using the rim to shield the shot from the Fever defenders. Then, Kayla Thornton struck from long range. Off a clean kick-out pass, she knocked down a three-point jumper, giving Golden State another boost and silencing the Indiana crowd for a moment. But then, it was Caitlin Clark time once again. The star stepped up from way downtown and delivered a deep three-point jumper that sent Gainbridge Fieldhouse into a frenzy. The shot was pure, and the message was clear. Clark was here to take over. Moments later, Celeste Taylor-Timpson made her presence felt for Indiana. She took control with a soft touch in the lane, delivering a driving floating jump shot that floated straight into the bucket. But Timpson wasn't done. After a missed shot inside, she fought for position, grabbed the rebound, and finished the play with a strong putback layup, showing toughness in the paint. The Fever stayed aggressive. This time, Damiris Dantas got involved. She sprinted down the court, found her rhythm, and nailed a running jump shot, stretching Indiana's offensive rhythm and forcing Golden State to adjust. And just like that, Timpson came right back into the mix. Off the dribble, she attacked the rim once again and finished with a powerful running layup, putting her stamp all over the quarter. The Valkyries, though, refused to go quiet. Matilda Light slashed through the defense and converted a hard-fought driving layup, keeping Golden State in striking distance. And then it was Jordan Burton again, cool, composed, and deadly from deep. She let it fly and drilled a three-point jumper, bringing the Valkyries bench to their feet. It was a quarter of sharpshooters, hustle, and relentless back-and-forth plays. As the final quarter tipped off, the tension was sky-high. Both teams knew it all came down to these last minutes. The crowd leaned forward, the energy electric, and right on cue, Caitlin Clark struck first. Coming off a screen, she accelerated into the open court, rose with full confidence, and nailed a running pull-up jump shot from the mid-range. The crowd exploded once again. Clark was taking control, delivering in crunch time like only she can. Moments later, it was Lexi Hull who kept the momentum rolling for the Indiana Fever. She drove hard into the lane, glided through defenders, and finished with a silky smooth finger roll layup that kissed off the glass. A beautiful finish that had Indiana's bench on their feet. But the Golden State Valkyries weren't backing down. Kayla Thornton, already dangerous from deep all game long, lined it up from the arc. And boom! She drained a three-point jump shot, cutting into the lead and putting the pressure right back on the Fever. But Indiana responded with poise and power. Celeste Taylor Timpson, who had been a force all night, went to work in the post. She backed down her defender, spun over her shoulder, and dropped in a soft hook shot right over the top. A textbook move and a clutch bucket when Indiana needed it most. When the final buzzer sounded, it was the Golden State Valkyries who stood tall, with a commanding 80-61 victory over the Indiana Fever. And there it is. The final buzzer echoes through the arena. The lights dim just slightly, the cheers and sighs settle into silence, and on the scoreboard, it's the Golden State Valkyries with the win, 80-61. Indiana Fever fought hard. They had heart, they had hustle, and most importantly, they had Caitlin Clark, back on the court, back where she belongs. Her return reminded fans why she's not just a player. She's a movement. Every shot, every pass, every moment she touched the ball brought electricity back to the Fever. But tonight wasn't enough. The Valkyries came ready. Jordan Burton, Kayla Thornton, Temi Fagbenlay, and the entire Golden State squad delivered. They played with purpose, precision, and confidence. They earned this win, but make no mistake, this loss doesn't define the Fever. Because what we saw tonight was the beginning of something bigger. A team that's still growing, a superstar returning from injury, a fan base that refuses to sit quietly. This is just the beginning. So if you felt the fire tonight, if you cheered when Caitlin hit that three, if you believe in this team like we do, then join the journey. Smash that like button. Share this with every WNBA fan you know, and hit subscribe, because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are just getting started. More games, more moments, more heart. We'll see you in the next one.